Hey guys, Sundown here. This is gonna be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai 235, A New Threat. Now this chapter I really like. There's a lot to talk about in this chapter, and I'm gonna go straight into it because it's gonna be a decently long review. So let's get straight into it. I really enjoyed this chapter. There wasn't so much that actually went on, but I just like I like the differences that this chapter has to normal Nanatsu no Taizai chapters, especially in the last month or two, where we've had quite a few combat type chapters and a lot of these action based chapters. But this one was just straight up a good chapter, and I really enjoyed it. And hopefully this time I'm using the right microphone too. So let's get straight into it. Now the first aspect I really enjoyed about this chapter was that we got to see a little snapshot of Zeldoris and Gelda. Gelda being the vampire who he fell in love with, and was also one of the forbidden loves of the demon clan. You know, the whole thing with Meliodas loving Elizabeth. I don't think that was the first case. The first case, or one of the few first cases, was probably Zeldoris and Gelda. And the whole thing with this is I don't understand why Zeldoris has such little compassion for Meliodas, and he hates him so much. We can see that all the way throughout this chapter and just the chapters of Nanatsu no Taizai in general. Now, is he jealous that Meliodas actually got away and managed to, deepen his relationship with Elizabeth? Or is it that he tried to actually get away with Gelda and his commandment interfered? His commandment is the whole thing of if anybody turns... What was it? His commandment was... Actually, let me just quick time check. His commandment was something to do with if you turned your back on the Demon King or some shit like that. And let me just quick time check it out. Yeah, so his commandment is piety, and any who turns their back on the Demon King are treated as committing an act of treachery and are cursed into serving the Demon King, and by extension Zeldoris. So basically, has he cursed himself like Garen did into serving the Demon King, basically without question. But then we say that, and it can't really be that because of what happens right at the beginning of this chapter. So, like I said, I really like the fact that Zeldoris is pissed about going to rescue Meliodas. He served the Demon King, well, he served his dad, the Demon King, and his people while Meliodas went off gallivanting and betrayed all of them, and even killed a few of them. He killed 2 commandments, I think it was, in the process, and he probably killed a few other demons along the way. However, in his father's eyes, in the Demon King's eyes, Meliodas is still the firstborn, and is probably still the most powerful demon at the moment in existence, and he's probably the most deserving of the position in that way. But when you really look at it, you gotta kind of sympathize with Zeldoris. This guy's been working his butt off for the Demon Clan, and he's been sealed with the Demon Clan, and the Demon King's still like, you know what, Meliodas is still deserving of the position, whereas, Zeldoris is your face outside of yourself, so you gotta put him as the Demon King. He's your representative. The Demon King also said something really weird this chapter. He said, "My curse upon the Supreme Deity's daughter." He's obviously talking about Elizabeth. Now he says "my curse." Someone mentioned this on Reddit, and someone actually mentioned the previous point on Reddit. But they mentioned this on Reddit, and I also picked up on it. I was like, you know what? He said "my curse." The Demon King is the person who cursed Elizabeth, it seems, with perpetual reincarnation. So then that also maybe hints at the fact that maybe the supreme deity, or the supreme goddess, she might have inflicted or cursed Meliodas with his immortality curse, as in no matter how many times he dies, he'll come back, and his emotions will just will be cut away from him, drained away from him, and nourish the Demon King. Now, actually, just thinking about just saying that now makes me realize that if the Supreme Deity did curse Meliodas with immortality, and then the whole actually no, so what I think must have happened is the Supreme Deity must have cursed Meliodas with immortality. No matter how many times he dies, he comes back, even if he suicides and all that. But then the Demon King must have interfered and put on his own little touch to the curse. He must have added like a little a supplemental bit of code or some shit, where every time he dies, some of his emotions get drained into the Demon King and nourishes his return. Because if the Supreme Deity did that, then we have an issue, because the Supreme Deity and the Demon King will be working hand in hand, and that would be an issue. The Demon King also orders the death of all the sins. Like I said, I was speaking about this at the end of last chapter. I was like, we can't have Zeldoris go in and just be like, you know what, I'm not going to kill anybody. He doesn't owe them anything. He's going to have to kill everyone. So I like the fact that the Demon King's like, you know what, go in, kill all of them. The sins are the only threats to the Demon Clan. I like that he acknowledged that, the Demon King isn't an idiot. He's like, you know what, the only ones that are actually standing against us at the moment who have an opportunity to beat us and have done are the 7 deadly sins. So what I need you to do, Zeldoris, is kick some of their asses, just kill them, which is a good idea. I also really, really liked the lack of response from his own commandments that Zeldoris receives in this chapter. Garan, we've already seen before, has been petrified by his own commandment. That's one. Melisula and Grey Road are now Merlin's guinea pigs. They're basically lab rats for Merlin. You see them in their canisters and stuff, in their test tubes. Fraudrin has been defeated. Nice to see that Griamore also has returned back to normal. Mons Piet and Derriere are alive and well and have settled down in peace. Why did Meliodas not kill them 3,000 years ago? Or the last time they met? They actually make mention of this chapter, and they were going to go into why they think maybe he didn't kill them 3,000 years ago or the last time they fought. And Mons Piet says they know the reason why, and he doesn't really allude as to why. I can't say why, but what I think it is that could it be that Meliodas can't bring himself to kill two people who are obviously in love with one another? Mons Piet definitely loves Derriere. I'm not too sure about whether Derriere reciprocates and loves Mons Piet back, but I'm pretty sure she does. She wouldn't be hanging with him, or she wouldn't be staying with him if she didn't. It'd be just kind of awkward. So I think she does love him back. And they aren't actually inherently evil. They are demonic in nature, obviously. They're born demons. But they don't seem to be inherently evil. And Mons Piet and Derriere especially, just seem to be pissed off more so because her sister, or was it her brother, died in that whole arc trap thing. So they're not inherently evil. So that's 6 of them. Glox and Dolo inform Zeldoris of their defection. The Dolo ass scene was pretty funny. I was like, really, Dolo? He seems more and more like Diane since that whole flashback thing. I thought Dolo would be more of a serious guy. And the darkness vanishes from their eyes. Their eye color comes back, returns to normal. Whatever their eye color was originally, we don't know. It's black and white. But you can see that the demons, if you're part of the commandments and you inherit a commandment, or you're given a commandment, your eyes blacken off in the form of the demons. The demons all seem to have, when they're in the demonic form, seem to have blacked off eyes, and that's what the Fairy King and the Giant King also inherited, the blackened eyes, and that vanishes. And then we find out that Esterossa is still alive. My boy, this guy is tough. He's still alive, but he is in actual fact in a coma. So, props to him. He managed to survive an attack from friggin' jacked up Escanor, but he is in a coma. So that's all 9 of the 10 commandments that have currently either defected, are dead, or are just incapacitated at the moment. Then we see that Zeldoris, like, I'm frightened of Zeldoris, okay, for this whole manga. For every character in this manga who Zeldoris has beef with, I'm frightened for them, because he's one powerful mofo, alright? His anger and his kind of renewed vigor when he realizes that he has to go and hunt down the sins by his wands and by his onesies, and he's just so frightening. He's happy about the fact. He's like, you know what, my time to shine. Let's go kick some ass. And I was like, yo, this guy is totally fine with going in by his wands and just taking out the sins and basically stealing Meliodas back from them. The other thing I'd like to mention before, and we've seen this before, a very eagle-eyed reader many chapters ago noticed that Zeldoris has the goddess's sigil on his sword, and you can see it a lot more clearly in this chapter. The goddess sigil is on the sword of Zeldoris. It's on the pommel of his sword, on the hilt, right at the bottom. So yeah, I'm not too sure why he has a goddess forged sword. Obviously, it might be something to do with Gelda. I don't know. Maybe she was in possession of the goddess's weapons, considering the vampires were in open rebellion against the demon clan, so they were only really with the goddess clan, maybe, or maybe they were in open rebellion against everyone. I don't know. But he does seem to have a goddess forged weapon. And then we have, which was the best part of the chapter for me. I should have really started with this, but I wanted to go through it kind of chronologically. But the best part of the chapter for me was the introduction of Zeldoris and Meliodas' masters. We've never seen this before, and they've actually been hinted to before, not these two specifically, but 6 Knights in general. If you go to chapter 203, the first page of chapter 203 shows that I think it was the 10 Commandments totally destroyed a faction of Stigma's army, and they were all like, yo, shit. We've been told that the 10 Commandments can even give the 6 Knights of the Demon Clan a run for their money. So 10 Commandments would give 6 Knights of the Demon Clan a run for their money, suggesting that each knight is actually probably worth 2-3 of the 10 Commandments. Now, the 10 Commandments, for me, this was just a bit weird, because the 10 Commandments are meant to be the pinnacle. But then you also have the situation of Zeldoris 3,000 years ago. He wasn't a commandment, yet he was as strong as the commandments in that wartime that we saw in the flashback. Also, previous commandments and just older demons who may not be part of the commandments may very well be stronger than the commandments. It's just that the commandments themselves may be more suitable for the position, and may just be at a time in their lives where they can be a commandment instead of being older and teaching other commandments and things like that. So I assume people like Cusack and Chandler, Cusack being Zeldoris' master and Chandler being who we find out is Meliodas' master, maybe they became more senior in their roles, and even though they were stronger than the commandments and more suitable for the commandment role, they became teachers instead of that. So in regards to the seal that's sealing all the demons wherever they are, they say that they struggled and it weakened them. And then somehow in their weakened state they managed to get out. Now, people were confused about this. I think what this means is this is how it works. So the seal, they struggled and it weakened them. Okay, so the Cusack and Chandler got weaker while they were sealed, and it wasn't because they got weaker that they managed to get out. So they got weaker. Meanwhile, Zeldoris has been weakening the actual seal itself with the sacrifice of all the humans and stuff like that. So in their weakened state, they were able to break out because of the weakened seal, and not because they were weaker, and therefore the seal only works on stronger demons, so they managed to slip out. I don't think it works just like that. I think it's because Zeldoris also weakened the seal on the outside. Zeldoris then goes on to say, with you two here, the void left behind by those 9 will be more than compensated for. Now this is high praise from Zeldoris. So I definitely think that these two, Cusack and Chandler, have got to be 2 of the Black Knights. They have to be 2 of the Black Knights. And then I wanted to get more into the history of the Black Knights. Who are the Black Knights? There's 6 of them. So are the 6 Black Knights like elected knights of a household? Are there like 6 main demon families or something, and each household has like an elected knight or something? Or are they? Is it something completely different? I don't know why there are 6 specifically. Obviously 6 being the number of the beast and things like that. But I don't know why specifically in this whole universe there has to be 6 knights of the Black Knights. So let me know what you guys saw of the chapter. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool, and I'm really hyped up about Cusack and Chandler. Cusack, who seems to be the guy who's going to go in on the Sins, maybe Glocks and Dodo. He's going to go in and maybe even jack Meliodas back. Considering Zeldoris himself was ordered to do it, I think Zeldoris is going to do it, but he's definitely going to jack. He's going to bring Cusack and Chandler with him, so they're going to go in and do some hype shit. So they're insanely powerful. The fact that they got that high praise, they got such a high amount of praise from Zeldoris in this chapter, suggests they're going to be really, really strong. So I'm terrified for what's going to happen to the Sins, and I'm actually really going to enjoy what's going to happen anyway. So let me know what you guys thought. Next chapter is called Rendezvous with Despair. So let's see how that goes. It's gonna be a really badass chapter, I think. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in a bit.